Welcome to Total Agent Access, where we interview the most inspiring real estate agents in the world to share with you the best advice from our brightest minds. With your host, me, Colin Bredner. Welcome back to Total Agent Access, and today we are with the one and only Sam Jensen. How are you, Sam?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. This is going to be really a unique podcast because both Sam and myself are from smaller cities. Would you say Williams Lake is a city or a town?
Well, it is called a city, but it feels a little bit like a town sometimes. But lately, it's been feeling more like a city.
Yeah, I know. I'm from Prince George, and I always say that it's the smallest city, that you've ever been in.
Right.
Everybody
Yeah.
knows everybody,
Yeah.
even though, we have upwards of 80,000 people here. So, excellent. So give us a little bit about your background. I know a bit about you from our previous conversations,
Yeah.
but you got to tell our audience, where did you grow up?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm currently, as you know, living in Williams Lake, but I'm not originally from here. I'm born and raised from Clocopa, BC. So I lived there throughout most of my life. I only recently moved up here about 8 years ago. My husband up here, his whole family's from up here. Mine is from, I should say my whole family. Part of my family's from the Vancouver area. The rest of them are all over on the other side of the world in Poland, actually. So I have my mom and dad here, and yeah, I basically grew up down there. I went to school down there for marketing management, and that kind of brought me a little bit into the real estate side of things and kind of helped me decide to get into real estate and take my license.
Yeah. What was that, what did you do before real estate? You mentioned you have your degree in marketing and management.
Yeah, so I got my marketing management diploma, not my degree, but prior to that, I didn't really have much real estate experience before that. So part of it was being at high school, not really knowing where I wanted to take my life and what direction I wanted to go in. And I thought marketing would be kind of cool. I really liked social media and that aspect of it. So I wasn't really sure what side of things I wanted to take in it, whether I wanted to go work for a marketing firm, would be the diploma option. I also had the opportunity to go either into tourism or real estate. And for some reason, I was just thought open in the real estate division. So I decided to kind of go down that route and see where it would take me. And going through that, it really just inspired me to get my real estate license. I knew quite a few realtors, obviously living out of the Vancouver area. And either my parents themselves, like my whole childhood, I grew up around them flipping homes. So you had to buy a home, and then pretty much we'd be at it for maybe 2 to 3 years. And then they'd go ahead and resell it after renovating and whatnot. And so that always kind of drew me as well. I knew that whether, if I was licensed or even just for myself, I knew in some degree as well I would be able to real estate. So that was kind of the early beginnings of it.
That's a really, really great way. You were almost destined to become a real estate agent, I think.
Totally.
Right? With your parents flipping before flipping became sexy, right?
Yes, exactly.
way back when.
Yeah.
So what I often talk to newer agents about is about the marketing and the sales background, which you already had in you, because a lot of people, I don't know whether they're influenced by television, but they don't really know what they're getting into. And essentially you are getting into marketing and sales, and people don't realize that. How has that played into your success? Because your socials are totally on point, and anybody listening to that, go check out what Sam's doing on social, especially Instagram, which is where we mostly communicate with each other on.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I think a lot of it, again, goes back to my parents. Like, they own a restaurant down in Clocopa, and growing up, and pretty much as soon as I was able and old enough to work, they put me to work there. So I was in, the public eye and working, in and amongst customers and stuff like that. So getting really used to dealing with conflicts and all sorts of situations that arise when you're working as a waitress and bussing and stuff like that. So that kind of brought me into the communication and really knowing how to deal with people and all sorts of situations that you find yourself in. And then moving into what I did the marketing program, the real estate option at ECIT there, they really immerse you into a lot of local businesses, whether it's developers, real estate offices, and kind of familiarizing yourself and starting to work with them right from the start. So I did work with actually before my real estate license out here. I did work for a developer in town. They were selling some of their newer developments and working with the show homes and whatnot. So I found that to be a really good background on how community is, how to show properties, how all the contracts and everything work, and then kind of bringing me into the marketing side of things. So.
Excellent.
Mhm.
I often say as well, and this is so funny because I didn't know that about you, that you had worked in a restaurant and your parents owned a
Mhm.
restaurant, because before I became a real estate agent, I'm a chef by trade.
Oh,
And I've
small
worked,
world. Yeah. Yeah.
it is. But I always say that, people are like, when they know that about me, they're like, oh my goodness, you made a real,
Yeah.
in your career change. And I say, there's so much about real estate that is applicable to restaurants as well. Taking care of the
Absolutely.
customer coming first,
Yeah.
hospitality,
Yeah.
knowing, like you said, conflict resolution
Yeah. Because
always
it
helps, right?
happens. It happens. Yep.
Yeah. And, there's a lot of marketing when you own a restaurant and you work in a restaurant. There's a lot of marketing that goes on as well. And I always say that the best real estate agents have that background. And
Yes.
all of us have the heart of a servant.
Yeah.
And that makes us, I think, the best real estate agents as we go into this, especially if you're coming like yourself from the
Mhm.
marketing aspect as well.
Mhm.
So now, how many years have you been selling real estate up in Williams Lake?
I got licensed back in 20, so about 8 years now.
Excellent. And you must
Yeah.
have like some amazing stories, because we all have these crazy stories. You want to share with us what your worst real estate moment has been?
Yeah. Actually, funny enough, it happened not that long ago, just last summer. So, as you are aware of how things work with forest fires and whatnot with insurance and with stoves and things like that. So last year, I happened to go stage on a property, and there was a wood stove that didn't quite comply with wet certification. So we thought we were able to kind of push it through and let it ease. I mean, that the buyer would come and see we fix the property. And unfortunately, right before closing, we had a whole situation where there was a fire, within the 50-kilometer radius. We weren't able to get fire property insurance binded on the property, as well as I guess, they didn't want to complete the sales and also quite go through because of the wood stove and it not quite compliant with certification. And the only way we would be able to push the sale through is to have the wood stove removed. And we only had a very short timeline to get this done. And the property, as you know, your area and my area, they tend to be rural in some situations. So this property was actually about an hour and a half outside Williams Lake, way out of cell service in the middle of nowhere. And the only people that I could get to help me were my husband and the buyer's dad. So we had to remove the stove. It was on the second story of this house. So we had to take it out, and you know how massive those wood stoves are, how heavy they are. So
Oh my
they
goodness. I'm
had to,
surprised that there was only 3 of it that
yeah,
was
I don't even know how we managed, to be quite honest. Like, they were able to get removed, and not only did the insurance company and the lawyers want it removed, they also wanted it not physically in the actual house.
Of course.
So the two guys had to like not leave this thing down the stairs and get it outside to take pictures of it, and then quickly rush back into town and send pictures off as proof to get it. And if we were able to complete on it somehow, I don't even know how to this day. But that has not to be probably one of the craziest moments of my career.
And you get into this not thinking, okay, I'm going to be removing wood stoves out of the second story of a house.
Right. And
I'm surprised the guys didn't want to chuck it out a window, like pop a window out and throw it out.
There was not even a window that size to get it out. Like, it was one of those moments where, And like one day again, I had a restaurant, so they staff think on your feet and think, what the heck can you do to make this happen and make it all work? And you're trying to make it all line up so we can still complete, keep the buyer and the seller happy. And that goal my husband and I like, so hypothetically, like, how hard would it be to remove a wood stove? And he's like, gosh, like, he's like, well, who are you going to call to do that? I'm like, you are the guy. I'm like, what can you do to make this happen?
And how compliant was he?
Oh, very, very. He knows how I am, and he's a man, all of good stuff in this.
Excellent. It's good. It's always good to have a problem solver on the team,
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. So what did you learn from that?
Well, definitely tried to get us more time prior to anything like that happening so that we can deal with it ahead of time. And then, of course, introduce time with shows. I just make sure if it's not compliant, we either deal with it way ahead of time to get it removed, or we have to do whatever we can to make it fit within those parameters for the light inspection.
Yeah. And also, up here, a fair bit of my audience is the United States. You may get this or not, but where Sam and I live, we're 2.5 hours from each other, but it's literally forest for hundreds of kilometers in between us. And it seems more and more, unfortunately, we do get forest fires, and that can really hamper a sale. If you can't get the underwriters, who are usually on the other side of our country in Toronto, to write off on it if there is even a spark of a fire within 100 kilometers.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's another one of those hurdles that we always have to cross over, especially during, basically during the summer. During the winter, of course, it doesn't happen because there's snow everywhere.
Yeah.
So if you could look back to when you started in 2016 and give yourself some advice, what would you say to yourself?
That's a good question. I mean, I think a lot of it would be, I would probably follow the same route that I took. So moving into a area, because I relocated here at St. Helens, like, all my license. So moving from the Vancouver area to, as we know, a smaller community, completely different types of properties, rural ones, mobile homes versus high-rise, townhomes, and all that. I think if I had to do it again, I would do pretty well what I did, look to see who's on the top producers for any area, and then teamed up with one of them to start with to kind of really learn the ropes and get familiar with all the properties and how everything works up here. So I think that would be the biggest piece of advice I have for myself again, is to really do that research, figure out who that would be, and then learn from them and see how I can benefit them with my knowledge as well.
Yeah, a lot of people starting off in certain areas, they want to do everything on their own.
Yeah.
And especially, it is very, very difficult to relocate to somewhere because your business is based on the amount of relationships you have. So when you come into this business, if you don't have a ton of relationships or a ton of knowledge, it's really good to start off on a team, or start off, make an arrangement with another well-established agent, especially if they're, they could be retiring in a little while. You have the opportunity to, take their clients and in the meantime do some work for them. So we've all had those those moments where it all clicks and whatnot, where it all makes sense and you gain some sort of clarity from what you're doing. Tell us your aha moment, that moment that sticks with you, that helps push you forward.
I would say that would be the last couple of years, especially when I started to take social media very seriously. I would see whether it's agents or other business owners in other areas or whatnot on the internet, taking advantage of it. And I was like, well, I don't think I can ever manage to do that, especially in a smaller market. But the last couple of years, I've taken it kind of been more seriously, and I've noticed like, wow, this actually works. It can really put some kind of effort into it. I think that was my biggest aha moment.
Yeah, you and I share that each, because I think that the biggest opportunity for us as real estate agents is on social media. When I first started, Facebook wasn't really a thing, and we certainly didn't have any of the other platforms. I can remember somebody that I was friends with on Facebook at the time when I first started. I posted a picture of a house and said, "Hey, this house is this." They got mad at me. They're like, really? This isn't the place for that.
Yeah.
Look where we are now, right?
Right.
It is. And I keep on reminding people that it's not like when I grew up. It's free. You don't have to
Mhm.
pay for it. You just got to
Yeah,
put in some time, make some content, and show people what you can do, what your knowledge is, and the consistency behind it. So,
absolutely.
yeah, can you open up your toolbox and share with the listeners, some of your marketing secrets, what's working for you
Mhm.
now as opposed to when you first started?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when I first started, I was really camera shy, I would say. I was been pretty outspoken and, willing to communicate with clients and whatnot, but I think I was kind of deterred by making videos, and I think that would be the biggest thing that I would emphasize for everybody to take advantage of. Is video, get on social media, put yourself out there. I find it's a really great way for clients to get to know you, get to feel, who you are as a person, and to see if you would jive all together. It's just social media is huge. Like being consistent on there, posting regularly. I try to post at least a video a day. I try to post on between like Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. I'm really trying to get into YouTube lately as well, to do some longer videos on there. So that's what I'm working on this year. But
Excellent.
hopefully we'll kind of get in a little bit more into that by the end of the year. So there's always room to grow, but I find you got to start somewhere. And if you kind of put it off to say, I'm not good enough, or who am I gonna watch this? Like you're missing out. You really are.
What's some advice that you went through to get more comfortable on video?
Just start making as many videos as you can. Start short. You can just say, hi, I'm so and so. This is my new listing, and you just bring it right to say pictures of views of the property, and then eventually just building up the comfort seat for longer periods of time. And I think the biggest thing I had to do was I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so I always try to make content that would give you like an A+, let's say. And now I've probably come to the conclusion that it doesn't necessarily need to be perfect. The public just wants to see you out there. They want to see your content. They want to see what new listings you have, who you are, some funny videos that out, and they just want to see you out there. So I've kind of learned to like let go and not focus so much on the quality of it as to putting out content and just letting it be out there, even if it's just, to a B or a C+ or whatnot. And just getting it out there for people to see. I think letting go of that has also made me a bit more comfortable in front of the camera and with posting out content as well.
Yeah, done is better than perfect. And I'll say that a million times on this podcast. It is not about perfection. It's about getting it out and done. Because honestly, you can track perfectly produced videos, and then you can track ones where, you've goofed up, you stumbled over your words, you had a laugh at yourself. Which ones do better? It's always the ones where you're authentically yourself.
Exactly. And I think that's the biggest part, is just being authentic. People don't want to see you, reading off a script and so, serious. They want to see that you're human and that you can connect with them and have that bond there.
I'm a big fan of YouTube for real estate agents, because it is all, the long form, YouTube being the second largest search engine. And what's really great is when you create long form, you can slice it up into short form. Most of the attention span is on platforms like Instagram and TikTok right now. But YouTube is fantastic. We get a lot of views on our YouTube channel, and it's really great, and it leads into other things. And again, chopping stuff up using something like Opus Clip or something like that.
Absolutely. Repurpose all that content.
Yeah. You just repurpose it into the shorter forms, little nuggets, and then people will fall into seeing you in one place or the other, and they'll gravitate to other stuff. So they may catch you on the short form and move over to your long form for more information. And all along, it's like having somebody working for you 24/7 out there, that you don't have to pay, which is great.
Totally. Yeah.
So, with all this stuff, you just get busier and busier. And I know that it comes at a cost sometimes. That we do as real estate agents sacrifice our time for success. How do you like to try to keep a work-life balance, and what advice can you share?
I think the biggest keyword, as you said, is try.
Yeah.
And I'm really working on it. Like the last couple of years, like when I first started, I was kind of a prisoner to, the job and really trying to focus on building up a business, and I didn't give myself enough personal time or family time and whatnot. Now I'm kind of shifting that focus a bit more into utilizing, all these free tools on social media to, schedule posts, how to get all that kind of stuff away, out of the way, I should say. And just really managing my schedule. I think that has been the biggest thing, and letting go and just kind of really managing when I take client calls and whatnot. And I used to, like when I first started, I would talk with people and who knows, what time of the night, and they would call and ask questions. And I've kind of come to the realization that they're, places like this and they obviously have hours for a certain reason. And, if it's something that can be dealt with the next day, we should just deal with it the next day. There's no point for me to be taking calls, at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning just to, appease somebody, but to at the same time, at the cost of my well-being. So I've learned to really manage my time at that, scheduling, time for myself for holidays, to spend time with family, my husband. That has been huge. That has been huge.
Yeah. Using the tools and understanding, like, we as people pleasers, that's generally who the real estate agent is. We have a tendency to always want to help. And you do have to draw some boundaries and understand that, other professionals, they don't phone you back till the morning if it's not pressing. Of course, if we have a deal going on or something's pressing, we're all over it. But
that's totally different. Yeah. But for the most part, like you said, boundaries are huge. And I've really learned to respect myself and set those boundaries with clients. And I think the biggest thing is, again, communication and letting them know ahead of time, setting those expectations so that, when they call in and they're like, oh, yes, that's right. She did mention that, she wouldn't be answering her phone at this time, but she'll call me back first thing in the morning. So that was the biggest learning curve to kind of get through at first.
Yeah. And that's okay. And this is great advice for any real estate agent, is to have that conversation with your clients up front. It's always good to, when you're at a listing appointment, sit down and say, like, this is how I work. This is how it's going to run. I do have my phone on. If there's an emergency and I don't pick up, just leave a message or text me.
Yeah.
And if it's an emergency, I'll get right back to you. But if it's something that, isn't going to get done until the morning anyways, I will phone you first thing in the morning, and setting that boundary up front. Right. So now tell me, what is the one thing that has you most excited about the future of your real estate business?
For my real estate business, well, I think I'm finally getting to the point now where I might be looking to expand my, I shouldn't say team because I'm not quite a team yet or anything, but I would love to get a assistant. So that would be kind of where the next steps are. I'm at the point now where I'm very busy, and there's only so much that social media and time management scheduling can help me. So I'm going to be looking to grow. Say probably by the end of the year, I'm hoping, and then just try to find more tools that things like that online and help me manage my time better and to be able to do more of what I love to do and get out there, meet with people and, sell houses instead of sitting at my desk.
Oh, 100%. The biggest thing that you can do is hire an assistant before you need an assistant.
Exactly.
And leverage their time. It's the only way you'll get anywhere. Either if you want to scale your business up because it puts you into your zone of competence, which is meeting with people, writing contracts, showing the homes, puts you in that, and it offloads all the other stuff onto the assistant. And so you can either grow your business or maintain your business and get time back. And that goes back to our other question there about life balance.
It all comes around,
Yeah, exactly. And I say you can go either two ways, because in this business, I find that there's a lot of emphasis on more. I need to produce more. I need to be a top producer. I need to make more money. But it's not necessarily the case. Each of us are independent contractors, and we can go and choose what path we want. Like, I want more time than money, or, I want more money than time, which I think is the wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
But some people, you
Yeah.
gotta be able to afford that Lamborghini, right?
Yep. Totally.
So you won't find me. Won't find me driving a Lamborghini, that's
No.
for sure. So give our listeners 3 actionable takeaways that you think every agent should be doing in their business right now.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the biggest one for me is the video, and that will be my 3. Because I think if you're not in front of your camera, if you're not on social media, you're not out there.
What's your favorite platform right now?
I would say Instagram. Instagram, definitely.
How do you feel about TikTok?
I'm on there. I goes for good on there. It
Yeah.
really just depends. I find most of the followers and exposure that I get on there is not from our local market. So showcasing some properties, I have a really unique listing out in Horsefly right now. And that one has gotten a lot of views. A lot of views, a lot of comments, and a lot of interactions. But it doesn't necessarily help me because those are the people that are coming and potentially looking at purchasing that property. So I see it's more so just for exposure, for listings, and for myself. I think to utilize more of that local market and potential clients, even if it's like from the lower mainland or other parts of the country or BC, I see Instagram is probably my top pick.
Excellent. So what do you think, what do you see for the future of our organized real estate? And I know that you're also a managing broker
I am,
of
yes.
your brokerage. So
Yes.
what do you think our challenges are?
I see our biggest challenges are going to be all of the regulations that are being brought in from our government. And just moving forward, I think we're only going to see more things coming down the pipeline, which aren't necessarily a bad thing. I know a lot of people some people may view it that way. I should say it as being a bad thing, but I think some of the things that are bringing in, it's obviously to protect the public and it just keeps us, in the lane, I should say, to do the right thing. There's always going to be bad apples and whatnot, but I think for the most part, it's definitely helping to guide people and to kind of give the public a bit of more reassurance. Just through what respected people I have on realtors who just what they see online and whatnot. But I think that's going to be the biggest challenge for us is just all of the regulations they're bringing in and some of the limitations that come along with that. But I think we adapt. I mean, you remember all the changes that happened in 2018 with limited dual agency and whatnot, and look where it is now.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're all thriving, and nothing's really changed that much.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody was up in arms over that, and we adapted, and everything's going fine.
Yeah.
And, we're recording this at the end of March of 2020, and in the States, the Buyers Representation Commission thing just went down with NAR being sued and the payouts and all that kind of stuff. Do you see that floating over into Canada?
I think so. I mean, I've heard whispers that maybe coming down the pipeline, so it wouldn't surprise me. Was the next step that they would be taking. So we'll see what happens. But I think the biggest thing is just adapting, and moving your business into the direction that we have to go into to work. And but I said a lot of people were up in arms about limited dual agency ending, and for me personally, I did really didn't affect my business. And we saw, even certain realtors in the area that were retired because they were like, well, I guess how am I going to sell homes? And, it's around 2024. And like I said, my business is thriving, and I will always adapt to other people, even for other changes that have happened in the last couple of years, like ChatGPT and AI. There are so many people against it, but I think it's such a beneficial tool to use for business. And you adapt, you learn how to use it, and it's not like the robots are coming and taking over for us, right?
Well, the public, or some of the public, have been saying for years that the robots are going to take over real estate agents, but we're still here, and we've been around for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And, are we going to be replaced? I doubt it, because it's pretty hard to have local knowledge coming from a robot. That robots don't go into houses and view houses and give adequate prices back to them and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Like my friends in the States always talk about the inadequacies of Zillow and how they can be hundreds of thousands off. Like, okay, that's a robot.
Yeah.
How are you going to know? Is a robot going to tell you what to list your home for?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. So, yeah, it's It's one of those fun sort of things. So realtors in general are a very giving bunch. What are you doing to give back to your community?
And that's a really good question. So, with being a part of Royal Cage, I'm going to say have a Royal Cage Foundation, and that's, or what am I saying here? I'm part of the Royal Cage Shelter Foundation. So, the Royal Cage Shelter Foundation was founded in the 90s, and it's to help women, kids get out of domestic violence situations. So, I give back from every deal that I'm on, whether it's on the buying or selling side. A portion of that goes towards the Shelter Foundation. And so what I love about that is that it's like based on your local area. So not only do they give back to people throughout China, and it's also like in relates like, so I know the money that I'm donating is going directly into our community here. So even just recently, I was contacted by our foundation. They let me know, exactly which shelter association. It was really cool to see like the specific amount and seeing that the whole amount goes to them, and it's not just like in certain scenarios where you see, oh, I'm donating this much, we're only like 10% of it is going. I can see that 100% of that is going towards that foundation, and to helping our local community here as well. And other than that, I find that we, as an office, plus individually, we all donate to local communities, whether it's the rodeo associations. We really like to sponsor our youth in the area as well and support them to help them, grow and to be, great adults in our community and to keep it growing and everything. And then I've also recently donated to one of our daycares. So I love to support them. One of my little nieces goes there, and I just think it's super cool to see share my emo to help the local community, our local community.
Yeah, I love that sounds like an amazing charity, and it's so good to know that all your money is going somewhere and it is staying local, because
exactly
the money that you're making is local and it should stay local and not go out to somewhere else into a city or shipped off somewhere else. So Sam, it is time for my favorite part of the podcast, which is called the rapid fire round. Okay. So are you ready for this?
I think so. Let's see.
Okay, let's do this. What is one piece of technology that you can't do without, and why? And you can't say MLS or your iPhone.
Oh, okay. I would say my drone. I think, again, it's an awesome piece of technology and is an incredible way to feature a property, and you just can't do that with a camera or a laptop or a phone or anything else.
Especially in rural environments.
Absolutely.
What is the best book you've ever read and why?
The best book I've ever read. I'm not a huge book person, if I'm being quite honest. But I think the one that I read most recently would probably be, I'm just trying to think of the name of it. What was it called? It was something to do, I think it was called The Four Agreements. So I have some series of books, and he has a whole collection. So I randomly go through there and take random books. And I think that one really spoke to me because a lot of what they had to do, like the four agreements that they have in there, kind of are the way I like to live my life by and how I run my business. Speaking, having good integrity, speaking the truth, doing your best. And I think that just really flows well with my life. So I started to read that one. I'm not quite finished again, but it's probably one of my most recently favorite books.
I have it somewhere.
Do you? Okay.
That one's great. So number 3, what is the best business advice you've ever received?
The best business advice. I would have to say this came from one of my professors at ECIT. James Dill Phillips, he is an amazing man, and he gave us the advice to always be very adaptive and to think on your feet. And I think that has been something that has really helped me, especially being a real estate agent. Every day is a different day. No day is the same. And like I said, with that Winston story, like we really have to be adaptive, think on our feet, think fast, and to make things happen. So that would be the biggest advice I'd share with people as well.
Yeah, big part of our job is problem solving. Number 4, imagine you woke up tomorrow morning in a brand new world identical to Earth, but you knew no one. You still have all the experience and knowledge you currently have. Your food and shelter is all taken care of. But all you have is a laptop and $500. What would you do to resurrect your real estate career in the next 7 days?
Oh my goodness. I would say It's a good question. I would say I would use my laptop to go on the internet and see again what I could find to be somebody that I would consider a top producer in whatever market area I'm in, and see how I can join their office, get to know them, and see how I can work alongside of them to, gain some business for them and to how work in that same brokerage. I would open up all new social media accounts, so all the different platforms, see whatever is, the most popular, and again, where those people are, and start posting on them regularly, get into a good schedule and start putting out content. Right?
Video.
Video. It's free. So
I can't say that enough.
Right.
Do video.
Absolutely.
Last one.
Okay.
Give us a quote that has guided you in your life, and then we'll say goodbye.
Okay. I would say this one's super cheesy, and I feel like people are really like, what on earth? But I would say YOLO, to be quite honest, because you only live once. And I find that has really, really guided me to kind of just be open-minded, do everything to the best of my ability, and, knowing that we only live once. So, again, going out camera and whatnot, not being shy about it, and just putting myself out there.
I love it, Sam.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that with me. Now, one of the big things that we like to do is, if somebody has clients either moving to Williams Lake or from Williams Lake, how can they get in a hold of you to send you a referral?
Yeah, I would say either reach out to me through social media. On Instagram, you can find me. It's super easy. At Sam Sold It. I'm also pretty much on every social media platform under that, or under just Sam Jensen, or you can call me anytime or send me an email.
And we will have all your information in the show notes for this episode. And if you're listening to this and you need somebody in Williams Lake and you want to get a hold of Sam, she'll be on there. You can look at the show notes and give her a shout.
Yeah.
Sam, thank you very much for taking the time and sharing some of your wisdom. And I wish you all the best. And I'm sure we will chat soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Colin, for having me. This was awesome.
My pleasure. Take care. Thank you so much for listening to Total Agent Access. Head on over to iTunes, hit subscribe. While you're there, leave us a review. 1 star is okay, but 5 stars is even better.